Seth Morris, Liberty Law Firm here. Today we're going to be discussing what are the penalties for possessing marijuana in Nebraska. And I know that people are going to be wondering, no, I don't have a great update where it's legal now and we've joined, I think, 37 other states around the country. No, so unfortunately it's still illegal in the state of Nebraska. Any attempts to legalize marijuana have fizzled out for one reason or another. So if you are caught with leafy green marijuana or concentrates, they can have some very real consequences. And we'll get into how those two things differ in a little bit. But leafy green is treated the same across the state. There's no disparity in that. So for a first offense, it's an infraction, so it's in the same class as a speeding ticket, and it's a $300 fine. A second offense is a misdemeanor and carries a possibility of up to 5 days in jail and a $400 fine. A third, fourth, fifth, so a third or subsequent offense is a class 3A misdemeanor, no more than 7 days in jail, and a $500 fine. And so the an ounce or less is pretty narrowly defined. Judges don't have a lot of discretion, except on the second and third, they could send you to jail. Now when you get between an ounce and a pound, that's where you get into a class 3 misdemeanor. You're facing up to 3 months in jail or a $500 fine, or both. Once we get above a pound, say you're on Snoop Dogg's bus, you are facing a felony level offense. That's a class 4 felony, 2 years in prison, a $10,000 fine, or both. Now where we really see this ramp up is if they believe that you're distributing marijuana. And what I've seen representing a lot of marijuana cases all across the state is there's no one golden rule for when something's going to be charged as distribution. It could simply be the amount. They say, okay, he has this many ounces of marijuana. That means he's selling. It could be because you have scales. It could be because people are saying you're selling and you get found with marijuana. So in this situation where they find that you are possessing with the intent to distribute, you're facing up to 20 years in prison. So a very serious offense. As far as growing marijuana, that is also treated the same as distributing it. So even if you have one plant at your house, hooked up to a little, you're playing indoor farmer like they did in Boulder back in the day, you're still facing up to 20 years in prison there. And so that's what we see as far as the leafy green, where everything is treated the same. As far as concentrates, that's where you see some disparity. Some states or some counties in Nebraska are treating it the same as leafy green marijuana, and the penalties would be the exact same that we discussed at the beginning of the video. Other counties are looking at it, I think, incorrectly, but this is what they've chosen to do, and they're charging it as concentrated THC, synthetic THC, or hashish, which the legislature didn't do a great job of cleaning up that loophole for them to be able to charge you with a felony for just having that one brownie that you brought back from Colorado. So in the short term, most people want to focus on what is the fine, what is the jail time, what does this look like? But at Liberty Law, what we do is not only think of the short term, but what are the long-term consequences here? And so some of the long-term consequences that you have to be concerned about are if you're in Nebraska and you have a concealed carry permit, that would cause your permit to be revoked because it's a conviction for a drug crime. And so if you value your Second Amendment rights, that could be stripped from you for even a $300 ticket. As far as finding employment, it can affect your ability to find employment depending on your employer. Professional licensing, particularly anything that involves the federal government, could be way more difficult for you with a marijuana conviction. And then finally, a weird little wrinkle is what if you're a student and you're applying for financial aid? They could deny you financial aid for a even misdemeanor or infraction level drug offense. And so, what I always tell people is don't let your future go up in smoke. If you get charged with a marijuana related offense, give me, Seth Morris, Liberty Law Firm, a call, 402-865-0501. Thank you.